Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the Firescaping 101 webinar. We'll just wait a couple more minutes if people trickle in, but we'll be getting started shortly. Chalky, can you see my screen? Is it sharing?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so I have some couple more people trickling in. I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Olivia. I'm with the City of Palo Alto Utilities, and this is Shelky Tao with me here, who is our wonderful presenter. We are covering Firescaping 101. Before we jump into anything, I do want to let everyone know that we are recording this webinar, and it will be shared and posted to the city website after this training. So any other resources, any links will be there as well afterwards. So by default, all attendees are muted. The instructor may pause periodically for questions throughout the webinar. There are two different ways that you may ask questions. There will be a raise hand button at the bottom of your screen that you're very encouraged to use. I will then unmute you and you can ask your question at that time. We also have a question and answer box that you may utilize as well. Again, it's at the bottom of your screen. And like I said previously, the webinar is being recorded and will be made available after today. Oh, some animations. All right. So I'm just going to give a brief background of who BOSCWA is. They represent 26 agencies, including the city of Palo Alto, which is why we're all here today. They provide water to 1.8 million people, 40,000 businesses, and provide amazing workshops and opportunities to learn about water conservation, which is why we're hosting this webinar today. So their objectives, BOSCWA's objectives, or outdoor water use represents the single largest untapped opportunity for water conservation in the service area. So again, they're trying to conserve water. They want to reduce the water use using efficient plants and innovative techniques to help conserve water and ensure future water supply needs for communities. All right, so I'm going to go into different ways that as a resident of Palo Alto that you can save when you're converting your lawn. So if you're doing a landscape conversion project, we do offer $4 per square foot. We also have a gray water rebate at $400. So if you want to take your laundry water and feed your garden, you can get that $400 rebate. We also have very generous stormwater rebates. You can get $70 per barrel. And then also for cisterns, $1 per gallon. And then we also have pervious pavement rebates and rain garden rebates. So a lot of options to save here in the city. Some other ways to save, we have a wonderful tool called WaterSmart. Every resident has access to WaterSmart. You're able to track your water, and also you'll receive different leak alerts. You'll have notifications when you're having unusual water use. You're able to see your hour-by-hour data. It's a wonderful tool. I encourage everyone to register and use the tool. You can go to paloalto.gov/watersmart to sign up. We also have free mulch in the city. You can go to Hopkins Tennis Courts or Mitchell Park. And then we also do free compost as well. So you can get that at our Eleanor Community Garden. All right, I'm going to jump into some home electrification rebates. We have a handful here, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we do have a new HVAC heat pump rebate of $2,500, which is very generous. We also have a heat pump water heater rebate, and then we have additional add-on rebates that you can do as well. So that includes wiring, sub panels, electric panel upgrades, and a gas meter removal rebate as well. So a lot of great ways to save if you're thinking about electrifying your home. And I do want to point out that federal tax credits are ending. So if you are thinking about electrifying your home, the time is now. These tax credits will end December 31st, 2025. So it's not too late, but definitely take advantage before you're unable to claim those federal tax credits. Right, some more ways to save. So Bosco has additional rebates, so $200 per barrel for rain barrels, and also additional rebates for if you're converting your lawn. These are stackable with the city rebates. So you're welcome to double dip and save extra. They also have a smart control rebate and additional rain garden rebate as well. So that rain garden rebate is $300. Again, stackable with ours. All right. Some other resources, I'm not going to go into detail here. These links will be provided to you at the end of the webinar. All right, and I do want to give a shout out of upcoming webinars and workshops. There's a rain garden webinar, great. We also have a fall planting, rainwater harvesting, landscape rebate one coming up as well. And then we also have a handful of different electrification ones here at the city. So next week we have a heat pump happy hour, which is going to be really fun. We also have an electrification webinar on the 29th this month, which is a great way to talk directly to an electrification expert and ask your questions on how you can electrify your home. And then we have additional landscape workshops next month if you're interested. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing and pass it over to Shelky Tao. Thank you so much for joining us. And you can go have your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Can everyone see my power slides?
Yes, I can see.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar tonight. We are going to talk about this very important topic, firescaping. So since the wildfires last year at LA, it really has heightened everyone's attention to this very important matter, fire safety. It has always been important, but now after the fires, it is just even more important. So from all the departments, landscaping, like our corner, everyone's putting the effort and trying to make our environment more fire safe. So today we are going to talk about just for the landscaping part of the fire safety. So what is firescaping? So basically it's about the landscape designs that can reduce the vulnerability of homes or any properties to wildlife, of homes to, basically to reduce the fire hazard to our homes. And also, it's about to achieve that objective. It's about the strategic plant selection, spacing, and maintenance to slow a potential fire, to slow the spread, and then protect the structures. So you can see this is one of such fire-safe landscape or garden, where you can see that the plants are spaced quite sparsely. There's no tall plants close to the house, and then the use of the rock mulch. We are going to talk about that in 1 second, but that's an important part of fire safety. So why is this topic important? It's really critical, right? So first, we right now with climate change, we have seen, and all kinds of factors, we have seen an increase of the wildfire risks. So every year we have had wildfires, and every year the fires is like bigger and more. Um, the takes longer to extinguish. So it's really becomes something we cannot ignore. It's not just something that happened at some remote corner. It might happen to us. So we just need to do everything to prevent that. We can, by adopting the fire safe practices for landscaping, we can also protect our homes, save water, and support sustainability goals. Because to achieve fire safety, we the practice is actually very consistent with the sustainable landscaping practices, like use a majority native plants, of course, the fire safe ones, and just build rain gardens, use mulch or rock mulch, and then use permeable surfaces like paths and patios, patios. All these are ecologically friendly for our environment and also very fire safe. So they actually achieve the same goal. So that's the very good news here. It also allows us to align with the regional fire safe and native plant initiatives. So again, as we just mentioned, the native plants, they a lot of them are also fire safe plants. So by using them extensively, not only will they make our environment more sustainable, support biodiversity, and also fire safe. So the maybe the most important concept we can learn about for firescaping is fire zones. So if you look at this map, you can divide the overall environment outside of our home into three zones: the zone 0, zone 1, and zone 2. Zone 0, it basically means it needs to be amber resistant. So it should not have any combustible materials. Most of the wildfires spread because the amber got into that zone 0, and then the flames go from there. So to keep our homes safe from the spread of the wildfire, we should just must make the zone 0 fire safe. No combustible materials. And then zone 1 is from 5 to 30 feet. And then zone 2 is the 30 to 100 feet.
And I did want to talk about Zone 0 very quickly here. For those who live in very high fire hazard severity zones and state responsibility areas, there is a new regulation coming out at the end of this year that will take effect in 2026, which requires those living in those requires those people living in those areas. It's prohibited now to have combustible materials within that zone 0. So you can't have wood fences, you can't have mulch, you can't have flammable vegetation. So everything needs to be cleared within zone 0. And that will be enforced beginning of 2026. So for those who are unaware, it's coming down pretty soon.
Yeah, thank you, Olivia. So here you can see another image of zone 0, zone 1, and zone 2. So I think the most important message is that zone 0 is really must be safety zone, and now it's a law now. So you just need to remove anything that's to make it really amber free in this zone. So I think one huge item that with this fire safety is the use of mulch. It used to be that for the landscaping, right? The water efficient landscaping. Um, and if you apply for the rebate and want to receive the rebate, one of the requirements is that you, after you plant the plants and put in the irrigation, then you need to cover the whole space with mulch. And most times those are just wood mulch. But now with this new regulation, we should not use wood mulch in zone 0, meaning in the from 0 to 5 feet, kind of like this space. We should use anything that's not combustible. So rock mulch like this is really preferred. So Valley Water, of course, part of the government agency, they are fully aware of this, and they fully support people use pebbles or a rock mulch like this. And if you have a project that apply for the rebate, so they already rock is already one of the mulches they support anyways. So just to let you know that going forward for anything, if you apply for a rebate, then you can totally use rock mulch for zone 0. So here shows a little bit more information about different kinds of mulch and the flammability. So definitely we should not use anything like pine needles. And if you in zone 0 around your house, if you have anything like these pine needles or red cedar, these kind of materials, definitely clean all of them out. We should not leave any such materials in zone 0. All in all, the safest is to use rock mulch, really. And also clean out all the vegetation, except for some like very small ones. Like these kind of like non-flammable plants. This is another example, as you can see, that the whole surface is covered by rocks, and then just very small cactus kind of like plants, which is fire safe. Okay, so we have talked about zone 0. The next is zone 1. So it's from 5 to 30 feet from the house. Here for this area, the requirement is that it should be lean, clean, and green, meaning it doesn't need to be kind of totally clean like zone 0, but still we should just keep it lean and clean. So here's one example to show that lean, clean, and green. For this this garden, you can see right here, a big area actually is a rain garden. So, and rain garden, usually we've used the rocks as the mulch because that's the way to keep the soil from collusion in the rain garden. So here that it really serves another purpose, right? It just with this all these rocks, it pretty much provide a good fire breaker. So rain garden really can provide all these benefits. Like before, it's water efficiency, right? It allow us to reuse them, collect and reuse the rainwater. And here, it can also provide a very effective fire break with that all these rocks. So that's also another example for the zone 1, 5 to 30 feet. You can see the plants that are spaced quite with a healthy space, and then also with this rain garden and path. Zone 2 is further away. It's from zone 1, the like 30 to 100 feet. So it's the further corner, further space from the house. So it's the same idea where you here you can have a little bit bigger shrubs and trees, but still the space should still be, we should still pay attention to that. Here we can also use mulch, as you can see, but it's still that we need to pay attention and make sure we don't have all those like wild shrubs and trees that are not pruned. Um, as mentioned before, a lot of native plants, they are good choices and they are fire resistant. As a principle, the plants we use for this kind of fire safe landscaping should have high moisture content, and they should be low on the oil content because that's flammable, and they should grow relatively slowly and can be maintained easily. Some of such native plants are like California fuchsia. You can see it's a magnet for hummingbirds. So they all serve double purpose, really. You can see this coffee berry. It's also big pollinator plant. It attracts this butterfly here. And then toyong, which is also a big plant for the birds. So these plants are fire safe because they have relatively high water content in their barks and leaves. And again, they are just all very big pollinator plants. So it really not only can make our home safe, but also help the biodiversity part. Another big element that can help us keep our homes or yards and safe are the use of hardscaping. So hardscaping, right? It can expand our living space, like this patio here. It can beautify our space, and also it can act as very effective fire breakers when fires come. So this very effectively extend that fire safe zone, right, from 2 feet to like 15 or 20 feet here. So fire safe, the use of hardscape is really a very good way for fire safety. We can do that also, try to support the environment, try to avoid concrete, although that's fire safe, but that's not permeable, and it's not as beautiful as a paver. So if possible, try to go with permeable surface, like the pavers, like decomposed granite or the flagstone kind of like surface.
And we do offer rebates for that. for permeable pavement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another huge reason.
yeah,
If
you can
you
get money for it. So
right, but if you use concrete, then if you
yeah.
you won't get the rebate money. So um, I another thing we can think about is the fence. So most of the fence we use today is the wood fence, as we all know. But if you really want to be fire safe, you can consider the metal ones or other non-wood ones. Water feature, putting this way, if it's like the smaller ones, right? I think we should go for it because that's it also can improve the fire safety. But I don't know about the big ones, right? Because we do need to pay attention to water efficiency. And in hot summers, water really is something we should save on. So I would say some small, smart water features that we will encourage. Here just shows another example of the use of the hardscaping. So it is such a this is a backyard I designed a couple of years ago. As you can see, that this path just provides walkability, right? You can just walk around very easily, tend to your garden, look at the plants. And all the mulch here is rock mulch. So it's together with the hardscaping, it's just a very fire safe backyard. So after we put in the native garden or the fire safe garden, maintenance is another very important step. It's not just like we put in the garden and we are done. No, maintenance is critical for fire safety as well. So we should just regularly remove any dead materials and leaf litter, anything that's flammable, that we should remove them promptly. We should prune the tree limbs 6 to 10 feet from ground because that will help us prevent the wildfires from spreading and getting to our homes. Um, keep keep the roof and gutters clear of debris, um, and then irrigate because where would all that water come from, right? For those plants, that they get all that water from irrigation. So it's not just like we put in the fire safe plants and we can just forget about them. No, we need to irrigate them well. That's where all that water content comes from, and help the whole help the help them to be fire safe. And then maintain the plant spacing and avoid dense clusters. Again, that goes back to prune regularly and remove all the flammable materials timely. Um, so again, native plants, they are good for our sustainability, and they are also good for fire safety. They require less water and maintenance. That's good for fire too, right? Because during the hot summer, if there's like all the lawns use so much water, then if you just and if there's any fire that breaks out, that all that water is so valuable. So we just need to we should just use more native plants, save more water, and then help prevent wildfires. There are a series of local regulations for fires. So Olivia just mentioned one of them for Zone 0. And some of these additional defensible space guidelines. We do not have time to go into them one by one today, but I highly encourage you to take a look and get familiar with them and try to apply them in your landscape. So yeah, that's the main presentation for tonight. You're more than welcome to contact me if you have any questions. Here's my email and contact information.
Great. Thank you. Great presentation. It just makes me think I listened to a firescaping presentation not too long ago, and they showed a photo after the LA fires of a home that was firescaped, and it was untouched. Like, it was very impactful. It was the only home on the block that was firescaped landscaping, and it just was untouched by the fires compared to everything else that was burned. So doing these landscaping and maintenance can really be impactful and can make your home and yourself a lot safer. So extremely important topic. So if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat, or you're welcome to raise your hand and I will unmute you. During the presentation, I do want to share some of the questions that we got during the presentation. One is, there is the new regulation only for new homes or remodels, or does it apply to everyone? So if you live in a high-risk fire zone, it does apply to everyone, but there is a grace period to comply. And I did share an article in the chat with everyone. So if you need some more information on that. There was also a question on if we have a map showing the high-risk fire zones, and we do. The Palo Alto does have a map, but we also have a resource tool, which I also shared in the chat. If you go to the web page, you can actually enter your address, and then it will pop up if yes, you are in a high fire risk zone. So another great tool to use. The question is, can you recommend any landscapers who are experienced with Firescape landscaping?
So I will say I have designed quite some fire-safe landscaping projects. So you're more than welcome to contact me. This is my contact information. There are many other good designers out there. They can also do the design projects. So if you go to Valley Water, they have a design assistance program, and they have a list of the designers. So if you go there, you can see the designers and you can contact them.
Yeah, and I do want to also add that Summer Winds Nursery in Palo Alto actually has a whole section on Firewise plants, and they are very great at answering questions. If you've ever been to Summer Winds Nursery, they're very knowledgeable on the plants for Firewise landscaping, and they have a full section dedicated to it. So I highly encourage you, if you're shopping around for plants, Summer Winds Nursery, and they can help you out. Any more questions? Welcome to put them in the chat. We had some good ones so far. Anyone wants me to share any more resources, I'm more than happy to share more resources on the regulations, share more resources on if you're in a fire zone. I will be sharing the slides and all the resources that we talked about here today later. Oh, we do have another question. Will insurance companies become harsher with the coverage because of landscaping? It's a good question.
That's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't have enough insight into that to answer that. It's a good question. I can do a little bit more research into that. Hopefully I can, provide next time.
Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know too much about that as well. from past presentations that I've attended, that were in LA, unfortunately, they have gone harsher just due to the climate there. But unfortunately, yeah, I don't have too much more information about how it will impact us here in Palo Alto. Yep, thank you again. Yeah, appreciate your time. Yeah, great info. Again, we'll be sharing all of this with you guys later. If there's any more questions, feel free. This is the time. Just give a couple more minutes if anyone has any last thoughts. Shelby, I had a question for you. If you had a plant list for Firewise, like, or you have one in mind, that would be a good resource to share.
Yeah, let me take a look. I don't
Mhm.
have on my hand right now, but yeah, I can take a
Okay,
look.
great. Yes. Maybe we can add that to the materials to share. Right? I'm not seeing any more questions. I'll just give it one more minute. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, Shelky. It was great, very informational, really important topic. Right. I think I'm going to, I don't see any more questions, but I really appreciate, Shelky, your time. I appreciate everyone's time. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.